One of the myths most often associated with freelancers is that they're difficult to work with. In reality, that's just a few bad eggs. A majority of self employed professionals are great partners that can come into an organization and partner with you on figuring out what the challenge is and sharing their expertise and experience and skills to help solve for it. So it's really important to not overly cater to these assumptions or say, hey, I'm a great collaborator and communicator, but instead push back thoughtfully on some of these myths in networking scenarios and when you're pitching yourself to a potential client. I cover the most common freelance myths in my Career Freelancer newsletter. So if you want to learn more about other reframes, go check that out. But in this case, when you're first having conversations with a client that you've already signed or you're about to go through the process of pitching them, in the process say, I'd love to hear more about your collaborative style working with outside contributors. What are your communication preferences? Then I'd be happy to share mine as well. Opening the field for them to first say, well, we prefer to work with partners in these ways. This is what has worked with us in the past, to let them, start the conversation. The point is to not come in and saying, these are my guidelines and I only communicate and collaborate in these ways, or to take theirs as the edict that you have to follow. You have to come to an alignment here. And then once they share theirs, you can say, okay, so typically my working hours are from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My preferences are to have 2 stand-up meetings each week over Zoom where we can go over everything in real time. I'm available via Slack. I typically like to get your feedback a few times throughout the first stage of the process and then scale back as we go to stage 2, et cetera, et cetera. So you're talking through your usual process for collaboration and communication, and then you come to an agreement on what makes sense for both of you as a thoughtful compromise. This way, you're showing versus telling that you're a great partner, you're easy to work with, and your goal is to remove some of the friction from the scenario to help them get to their desired goal, and that you're not a burden in this process, but you're actually helping them move forward in a more efficient manner and helping them ideally get the results they're after. So that's one way to thoughtfully kind of indirectly push back on the notion that freelancers are difficult to work with. If you want more ideas on reframing some of these assumptions people have about freelancers, go check out my newsletter.